So last night I went for a dinner and I met an individual who has not had a drop of alcohol for 34 years. And funnily enough, he's also 34 years of age. This is a man that has never touched a drop of alcohol in his life. This isn't for religious reasons or anything like that. This is purely because he has never made a decision to drink alcohol. And what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to unpack some of the ideas that we discussed during that dinner. And why I think this is going to be such a helpful video is because if we can get into the mindset and the ideas of somebody that has never touched a drop of alcohol before and he's managed to go through his entire life without ever buying into the illusion, ever buying into the conditioning, ever giving into the peer pressure, if we're able to understand how he sees alcohol, then surely that's going to be nothing but helpful. Can't wait to share this with you today. This is going to be an awesome video. And guys, just before we actually get into it, if you want to get access to a free video training that shows you how to get control of your drinking, then please click the link in the description. You'll put your name and email address in, and then a video will start playing that really shows you why this problem exists in the first place and exactly how to get immediate permanent control of alcohol quickly. So if you want to get access to that video training, it's one of the best videos I've ever made. Please click the link down below to get access to that. And now let's get into the video. So there were 4 ideas or beliefs that he had around alcohol that he discussed during the dinner that I'm going to unpack for you right now. The first thing that he mentioned is that alcohol is a spirit. There is a theory that the word alcohol is derived from Al-Ghul, and I might not be pronouncing that correctly, but there's a verse in the Quran that mentions Al-Ghul to refer to a demon or spirit that produces intoxication. So the individual goes on to say that when we drink, this is what happens. And he used an example. He said, if you were to go and drink 10 beers and black out and wake up the next morning and then I remind you that you tried to punch me in the face and you have no recollection of that, how can you say that that was you? You were possessed by something else. And he believed that when people drink, they get possessed by something else. It's not the real them. Which I thought was very interesting because if you really believe that, and he clearly did, you would never touch alcohol. You would be terrified of drinking. This idea that something's going to possess you and it's not going to be the real you, that is a terrifying thought. The second thing that he said, word for word, is that you've been conditioned to see alcohol a certain way. He even used the word conditioned, right? Which is something that we talk about on the channel all of the time. And what was so interesting is that he was aware of the conditioning without ever buying into it ever in his life. Now, sadly, for most of us, we bought into the conditioning. I bought into it. I bought into the idea that drinking was a beneficial thing, that I would gain something from drinking this poison. I truly believed that. And what was so interesting is this individual started saying all the reasons why you think you drink are wrong. It doesn't help you relax. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't de-stress you. It does nothing for you. And I think this is one of the first people that I've ever met that shares my worldview, but he got there on his own. I didn't get there on my own, right? I had to read a lot, I had to study a lot, I had to do a lot of introspection and ask myself some big questions. And that took me a long time to get to this guy's state of mind. There was a lot of work involved, but it was so interesting to see that he could see all of this without doing anything. He just did the critical thinking and didn't drink. It's amazing to see. The third thing that he started unpacking is that when you drink alcohol, you gain nothing, but then the thing that happens is you lose the clarity, which stops you making millions of dollars in your business. This guy was an entrepreneur, and everybody else that I was with was an entrepreneur. So he brought the conversation back to that. But he said, you don't get the ideas, you don't step up, you don't do the things that you know you should do, which again is something that we discuss all the time on the channel. And the fourth thing that he mentioned is that one day, everybody here, if you drink, you will wake up one day and not drink. You will wake up one day when you realize that the negatives just dwarf the positives. And the funny thing is I've made a video saying those exact things before. You will reach a point in life when the negatives are so apparent, they're so in your face that any supposed benefit that you were holding on to just disappears. And it was really cool to see this guy who's never watched one of my videos, probably never read anything about stopping drinking or anything like that in the past, really had the same ideas that we're all discussing, that we're all breaking down, that we're all buying into. But the most interesting thing of all, and the thing that I think that you can take from all of this, is the level of certainty that this man had. He was rock solid in this worldview. And one thing that he said is that if somebody was to push alcohol on him really, really hard, he would fight them. It was that serious for him. There was nothing that you could do to get him to drink alcohol. And to me, that is the game changer. That is what we need to do. We need to get into such a strong state of mind that the idea of adding alcohol back into our life is never going to happen. That's why I talk about making the commitment and making that all-in decision. I share this level of certainty that he had, but the 10 years that I was drinking for, even when I tried to stop and start multiple times, I never got into that state of mind. Right? I always held on to an idea that somehow alcohol had something in it, which would always lead me back to, stopping for 3 months, stopping for 6 months, and then starting to ask myself, was it really that bad? Maybe this time will be different. Maybe I could just have 1 or 2 drinks, and every single time I'd fall back on my face. I'd get to the same place again and again and again. But to get into this individual state of mind, and my state of mind, and the people who I've worked with that are in this state of mind, to get there, it's not as simple as just clicking your finger. Well, at least it wasn't for me, right? To get into that state of mind, for me, it took work. Whilst I knew all of this stuff on the surface, I still held a small belief that alcohol was beneficial. So even though I might have known all of this and bought into it 99%, the fact that there was this 1% idea that, do you know what? There is something in alcohol. Every single time that I tried to stop drinking alcohol, this 99% mindset would slowly go to 98, then 97. And this idea would kind of grow and grow and grow until it depended. Sometimes it might take 5 days until I'm at 100% alcohol is good. Sometimes it might take 6 months, right? It didn't matter. But eventually, because I held on to this idea that it was beneficial, eventually it would lead to justifications, rationalizations, and drinking again. And that's why I had to do a lot of critical thinking, a lot of research, a lot of introspection, and ask myself some difficult questions. But once I got the answer, once I got there, the decision to drink alcohol was the easiest thing I've ever done. The desire left. This individual that I met has got an extremely strong worldview, an extremely strong understanding of alcohol, and had zero desire to drink alcohol. Is that a coincidence? No. He's just done the work and never bought into the idea that it's a good thing. So probably a little bit easier for him than for a lot of people that watch this channel, because the problem is that he has never developed an addiction to alcohol, whereas I have. Whereas a lot of people that watch this channel have. So we've got a bit more work to do, but I think the main thing that we can take from this is the level of certainty that is required to stay on this path for years. I know a lot of you guys that watch these videos, you've not drank. You might already have not drank for a couple of years, but you come here for reminders, because at the end of the day, we step out into a world that almost wants us to drink, that seems to be portraying alcohol as a good thing. So unless you're 1000% sure and 1000% certain that you see nothing in drinking, then videos like this can be helpful. Quick reminder, quick refresher. The sad thing is most people go through life without ever questioning, what is alcohol doing for me? Why do I even drink this stuff? Who put these ideas in my head? Most people don't do that level of critical thinking, but people that watch this channel, people like you and I, we're different. We're challenging the status quo. We're going against the grain, which is a beautiful thing. Anyway, if you click the video on the screen right now, you can have some awesome stop drinking motivation.